Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, David here, and welcome back to another video. And it's pretty much the calm before the storm, right? Tokyo Game Show is happening at the end of this week, which means it's kind of slow in terms of news. And a lot of you guys sent me a thread that became quickly very popular on Twitter. Persona 6 information, Persona 6 leak. I'm not trying to misguide you guys in any type of direction. The reliability of this leak is kind of like, from what I've seen. I didn't even look at the information that this person is giving us for now, but I looked into their sources. Sources are Midori, which I don't want to, again, we decided not to report on their information here on the channel, and I'll stand by that. So, but this person, their information got approved by Midori, which recently put out tweets that include video footage of leaked Sega titles, so clearly their information still is accurate, but again, I'm not going to report on them. So this person is backed by Midori, also backed by I Am a Hero, which is a very popular and reliable-ish leaker on Reddit. So I want to go over all the information that they had to share. I figured it would be nice to talk Persona 6 and to speculate on things, but I am not trying to misguide you again, you guys. So take the information that we're going to discuss in today's video with a grain of salt. Nothing's confirmed, and I'm looking at it while I'm talking here during doing my intro, and I think most of the information that they're putting out there are things that I predicted or that are kind of like safe, very safe-ish. So we'll have fun, we'll talk Persona 6, let's get right into it. But before we do, I am still running the giveaway for a code of Metaphor ReFantazio on your platform of choice. The winner will be picked at launch through my subscribers, so just make sure you are subscribed, and you can comment on this video or a recent previous video with your platform of choice, and you are eligible to enter. The winner will be picked once again at launch. So let's get right into it. Let's go on Twitter to @PoeFull's tweet. Alright, so here we are, Persona 6 info thread. So here's the information that they had to say. So again, information is backed here by Midori, and again, a lot of other people asked about their sources and stuff since it became popular, and outlets like My Nintendo News and stuff started to report on their information, and they said I Am a Hero and all that stuff. So again, the reliability here is questionable for sure. Let's start with a release time. As rumored, Persona 6 is targeting a 2025 release date, more specifically summer 2025. July if I had to guess, if not, then August. So again, in my recent predictions video, I said, and I've been saying Persona 6 2025 for a long time now, I think there's a possibility for Persona 6 to be revealed at the Game Awards at the end of this year. Keighley is getting ATLUS on board for announcement at his shows. He had announcements for Persona 3 episode Aegis at Gamescom. He had a trailer for Soul Hackers 2 a few years ago, so he's really into it. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, the ports were revealed at the Game Awards, so there's history there. Makes sense. If Persona 6 gets revealed in December, you release it in summer, makes sense to me, something that we can predict. If it's not summer, it's late 2025, I think next year is going to be all about Persona 6. That's where I'm at. So that's what they had to say. Post-launch DLC is on lock. Lots of customization stuff for party members and both protagonists. Smaller expansions, and I believe a more sizable expansion separate from the main base game. Again, ATLUS is doing this for 90% of their games, so it could very well be just a safe bet. Now, one thing that they're putting out there that is easily going to be proved right or wrong is they're saying both protagonists. This is new. This is different. And in other replies that this person asked, they compared the dual protagonist to something along the lines of a Yakuza 0, where you can play with Kiryu Kazuma and Goto Majima. So they're kind of doing something along those lines here, apparently. So this statement here, we're gonna know if this person's reliable or not just with that statement. The rest, post-launch DLC, a bigger expansion and stuff, customization and stuff for the party members, they do this in all games. In Reload and SMT and all games, they do that. So it could just be a prediction, but again, the dual protagonist stuff, not so much. Interesting. As already heavily reported, the main color is green and the team is black and white. Duality is a major thing in Persona 6, and the protagonists, Kuro and Shiro, represent this amongst other things. So they put even names out there for protagonists. If this is accurate, cool, interesting, and again, they're putting themselves out there. So if this is true, I'm gonna consider this person a reliable leaker. But again, for now, keep your expectations in check. On the topic of two protagonists, I don't believe it is a matter of picking one. One protagonist is male, takes priority over the other. Both have plenty of playtime, but don't expect choice or an equal amount of playable screen time. Interesting, so not so much like Kiryu and Goro Majima and Zero, apparently, so a little mixed up here. The game takes place in an art school. This is where the black and white duality thing also comes in. In lots of modern art and traditional art clashing, one of the center conflicts will be modernity versus tradition. Sounds cool, I mean, I'm here for it. A little different than what we've had before. Remember, art is subjective. Another smaller focus will be on the different mediums there, music, painting, writing, etc. Expect this to influence the main cast too. So this is kind of, how can I say this? It's kind of like they're going in depth with some of these topics and some of the stuff that can be in the game. So this is not something that leakers generally do. So I'm really intrigued here about the structure of it all. The game is internally described as semi-open world. I would like to imagine that Metaphor influenced this, and I'd expect what openness there is to be similar to Metaphor. They're not giving a lot of details, but it's interesting to hear semi-open world and Metaphor in the same sentence for Persona 6 to be similar to these two, because again, I've played Metaphor and it's not open. It's not open world. I described it in my preview. Metaphor ReFantazio is basically Persona 5 with larger areas. That's it. It's definitely not open. It's different locations, but the locations are bigger than what you can find in Persona. To me, that's not open world. Open world, well, they're saying semi-open world. So again, I'm not sure what they mean here. Sounds good though. I'm really looking forward to a Persona 6 which has bigger areas, if that's what they're referring to. Because I'm not sure semi-open world. Maybe they're gonna clarify with other replies. Social links are expanded upon massively and feature a lot more interactivity. Choices matter quite a bit more. That's something that I've been asking for a long time. I want choices to matter and to have a bigger impact in social links, and if possible, even an impact on the main story, because social links are kind of a pillar in Persona nowadays. So that is something that sounds really cool. And I believe they're utilizing some older mechanics alongside the new ones to spice things up. Okay, social links to be expanded upon in Persona 6, again, could just be a safe bet. I think it's something that all of us would have predicted. Social links improved upon. It's what they did from 3 to 4 and to 4 to 5. So 5 to 6 makes sense to me. Back to the DLC, there is around 3 years of support planned. The initial expansion pass I don't believe will cover it all. If the expansion pass still happens, as I'm looking into things more and more, I'm unsure of how they'll go about pricing all of this. Okay, this is interesting. This is also a leak that they're putting themselves on the spot by doing this, because if Persona 6 has 3 years worth of content, of added content afterwards in terms of DLCs, that's new. ATLUS, they don't do that nowadays. And generally speaking, when devs do that, it's for multiplayer games. You support your multiplayer game to keep player jumping into your game. For a solo game after 3 years of release, so we're in 2024. So let's say SMT5 Vengeance wasn't a thing. SMT5 came out in 2021. That means content for SMT5 would stop happening now. That doesn't make much sense to me. I'm gonna be honest, that doesn't make much sense to me. People are not gonna be interested in a solo game. Well, most people are not gonna be interested in a single player game getting content 3 years after launch. I'm very skeptical when it comes to that statement specifically. Anyhow, game is in localization stage. Reveal will be at TGS? Tokyo Game Show? So what they're saying is Persona 6 is getting revealed this week. Will be on most current gen consoles. I'm not counting on Switch 2 at launch personally, but we'll see. I'll quote retweet this thread with additional info if I get any, or I'll quote retweet this thread if I receive any notions that any of this is false for clarity. I have another Persona plus Sega in general scoop that I'll post tomorrow. And here we have the tweet here from the new Midori account saying that there is a lot of correct info. Let's look at the quote retweets now. Okay, so the main thing that they quote retweeted is this. So that they corrected themselves on the day after, saying, hey, very important, I meant to say TGA, not TGS. So that would be the Game Awards and not Tokyo Game Show. Which again, oh yeah, and here you go. There's another reply here saying meant to say the Game Awards. Makes a lot of sense. Oh, even here. I'll see you guys on December 12th. I'm more confident than ever. I think, respectfully, this will be it. I didn't go over much that was new, but I don't think the Sega Leak game is a safe one. We'll see. So it's really interesting to speculate on the information that this person is giving. Again, I want to thank everyone who sent me this thread here. I do want to say there's a lot of things in these tweets that could happen for sure. There's a lot of things that most of us could have predicted that could just be safe predictions for sure. But there is some information that they're putting out there that is putting the scope on them. I mean, at this point, if we see the reveal of Persona 6 at the Game Awards, I'm not giving them credibility instantly because I've been predicting that for a long time and a lot of you guys have as well. So, 2025 release, same thing, But the dual protagonist thing, the names of the protagonist, that to me is information that means something. If they're right about this, they have information coming from somewhere. Even Midori, we've heard that this person gets information from different sources. They don't have one people working at Sega telling all the information to them, or they're not working themselves at Sega. They're just here, they have contacts, and they share the information around, which was proven time and time again to be true. But this person, even though they're backed by Midori, we don't know. So this was just for fun. I am not considering that information that much, to be perfectly honest. I'm still looking at the Game Awards and I'm still looking at 2025 for a release, but the rest of the information that they gave me is kind of like, hey, we're having fun, we're speculating, it's interesting. But what do you guys think on this one? Do you believe the information that this person is giving us? I am going to leave the thread to their Twitter in the video description here. This is the only time that I'm going to talk about this person until they are proven right. If they are indeed proven right, we'll cover their leaks in the future because, hey, I'm interested in hearing about early projects for ATLUS and Sega. Thank you all so much for watching, you guys. I appreciate you tuning in for today's video. Have a great week, and don't forget to comment with your platform of choice if you're a subscriber for a copy of Metaphor ReFantazio. I have a lot of great content coming on the channel, so make sure you tune in for that. Have a good day, y'all. Bye.